Okay.
I learned mostly about the film camera itself and all the different angles and stuff. For example, panning, long shots and close-ups and extreme close-ups and stuff like that.
None of us have ever used any of the editing equipment or softwares like Final Cut and I've never used iMovie or anything, so we had to learn quite quickly when we're doing the editing. We struggled a little bit because we had a few technical difficulties and we had like a clear image of what we wanted in our heads, but it was just how to find the right way on Final Cut to make it look that certain way. And we cut our film up into loads and loads of small pieces to get the right pace and effects that we wanted.
We used an effect to show time passing, and we changed the opacity levels on different sequences and layered them over the top of each other so that Thomas was shown in different areas further along the track to show that time was passing slowly and that he had been there for a long time and he was travelling a lot further. It was really difficult to start with, but in the end we managed to change them so that they ended up at the right levels at the right time.
I think we've improved the camera shots and the angles and stuff like that to do with the camera to make an overall better shot and like sequence of shots. And also we've learned to get the camera more steady so our shots look better than the other film.
We used audience feedback from our preliminary task and we used that to strengthen our new thriller sequence, such as steady shots, like Ben said, and we used a tripod to improve that in our next task.
We also had a lot more freedom of choice for our location and our cast because we weren't confined to doing it inside the college. And we chose a really good location and we had choice of the time of day and the lighting so we could make it a lot more how we wanted to. And the advantage of using more external actors was that we got to focus on doing the filming and the directing.
So our strengths and weaknesses throughout our thriller sequence. Our strength was definitely having Thomas as an actor. He proved to be a lot better at stepping up to the plate than me and Ben did in our preliminary task, and he proved to be a good choice. One of our weaknesses was our costumes because of the day and how cold it was, we couldn't quite use the costumes that we'd wanted to. Therefore, we didn't show our protagonist in the same way we had previously hoped to.
I think a strength of our production would be the really spooky visuals that we have, especially our opening shot, the establishing shot. And we don't have a busy background, and it's quite different to the other films that have been produced because of the visuals, and I think they're really fitting with the genre. A weakness would probably be the editing, because it's taken away from the spookiness of the film because it jumps around a lot and it changes colour because of our technical skills with Final Cut. But it wasn't exactly how I imagined, but it's close enough.
I think the storyline was a positive thing and a lot better than our preliminary task. But the soundtrack was not as good to start with, but I think we've changed it from a negative into a positive thing by getting together and changing it around.
Part of my individual contribution was choosing the location. I managed to find this location from a while back, and it showed how we'd use the same scenes as A Mother's Son, as that was our influence. I managed to get Thomas to be our actor through Friend to Friends. He proved to be the right choice on the day and was good at what he did. And also I help with the editing by changing the opacity levels and changing certain things throughout and helping with that.
My contribution to this production was, I did a lot of the editing with Abby, and I filmed most of the did most of the actual filming, and I set up a poll on our blog about a soundtrack, but we didn't actually use it in the end, but it got some more feedback. I wrote a list of equipment and schedules, had the initial thoughts on costume, and I drew up the initial storyboard.
My individual contributions were, my main one was playing the antagonist in our film, and also I was put in charge of choosing the soundtrack.
You sourced the costume?
Yeah, I sourced the costume, and also I helped with, sort of at the beginning when we were initially thinking about what we were going to do, I came up with ideas from other films such as Hide and Seek, and I also wrote the storyline partly and the character backgrounds. And
that there's loads of organisation and time needed to actually make it of any good quality film. And what I learned about working as a group is that we all need to cooperate, otherwise the workload isn't shared equally. But it's good to work as a group because it's more fun, and you share ideas, kind of bounce off each other.
I've definitely learned from this experience to work with others, and that it helps to have other people around you all doing the same thing. I've definitely learned a lot more about using the camera and how to film certain shots, and what maybe that if we did a bit more planning we would end up with certain shots as a better sequence.
I've learned a lot more on the technical side of the production of a film, like all the different programs used, all the different kinds of shots, and that sort of thing. And about working in a group, I've learned that I personally need to be more organised if the workload's going to be shared out. But I think we worked well, and the end result came out good.